Welcome to Ish I Saw on TikTok. In this series, we look at TikToks and some stitched responses where something very prevalent in dating today is discussed. Then finally, I'll provide my commentary at the end of just me being myself, unfiltered and unadulterated. Hi, I'm Janelle, the relationship coach behind The Successful Invisible. I work with successful, savvy, wonderful, professional Black women, single professional Black women who are 35 plus and are seeking just better dating options and have no clue where to start. Check out my links below if you're interested in working with me one-on-one or in a group coach setting. The goal of exploring some of these TikToks is to spark discussion and help you to develop more awareness, including self-awareness, in some of the patterns you've either engaged in or allow in your own dating life. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
One thing that I learned through dating my boyfriend, who is now my husband, is that when a man wants you, he makes it so ridiculously clear and obvious, almost to the point where you have to tell him to slow down. Okay? You have to tell him to slow down, or it can be almost to the point where you're overwhelmed because you're so used to the dating anxiety of trying to figure out how a man feels about you. He doesn't call when he says he's going to call. Y'all had a date scheduled, but he didn't say anything the day of. It's a whole bunch of gray area. Please listen to me when I say this. The gray area means he does not want you like that, because there is nobody, and I mean nobody, that is clearer and more obvious and clear than a man who has decided that he wants you and he wants you to be his wife. I promise you, you do not have to beg. You don't have many questions, because he's answering those questions before you ask them. He's telling you, we go together. You're not having to ask if we go together. You're not having to ask, so when are we going to get married? He's already making plans in his head of how he's going to do this. His joy is in making you happy and is bringing you joy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is completely different, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to the point where it's almost a little scary, okay? There's times where you're going to have to tell him, babe, I can't talk, I'm at work. And it is a beautiful thing when a man is in love. So just trust and believe that there are men who are very intentional about their pursuit. There's confusion, take it as a no, because when a man wants you, he will make it very clear.
You know how to tell when a man is really, really interested in you. How much attention does he pay to things about you that he doesn't directly benefit from? Of course, he's going to be interested in you being pretty. He's going to be interested in you, having a nice shape, nice figure. He's going to be interested in what you can do for him, right? How well you can cook, how well you can clean, things of that nature. All of these things he's going to directly benefit from, right? But how much attention does he pay to things about you that he doesn't? How often do y'all talk about that, favorite author that you may have, or that favorite movie or TV show, or, that you like a lot and you discuss a lot with people that know you and, familiar with you? Like, how much interest does he have in those things? Or does he wrap that conversation up real quick and get back to something a bit more shallow?
If you go sit at a bar by yourself and you look nice. Now, don't look like you're trying too hard.
Right.
We don't need the evening gown.
Okay, baby, you were at Chili's. Relax.
They will.
No,
when that man say, "Oh, how's your food?"
He don't care about your food.
He don't care. I'm about to say something else.
Baby, see, I had to stop myself. You got to brighten up your tongue, baby.
He don't care about that food. Now, you got to realize, though, that man is trying to start a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Because I done been there before when I'm like, it's good.
And then you get home and be like, he was talking about me. I was the plate. He's the food. It's the merchandise.
You gotta be aware, baby.
you gotta watch.
Because that's half the battle right there. They be saying stuff, they be around, and you just...
Will you not perceive it?
You're not. So, baby, just pay attention. Pay
Be
attention.
vigilant.
Be vigilant. You got to watch.
And pray.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, discern, baby. He don't care about them chicken tenders.
At all.
He done had them honey chipotle chicken crispers. He done had them. He want to know what you hitting for. Hello? You with me when I'm what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
You're right.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Because I put that on my mama.
And my hood.
Mm-hmm.
We look fly.
And we look good.
Touch my swag.
Wish you could.
All right. You know what?
So a man on Twitter is going viral because he posted that his girlfriend should be grateful because this is his real type. Then he proceeds to post pictures of women that look nothing like her. It's mean, it's cruel, it's hurtful, it's offensive. But it's true. I'm sorry. It's true for some men. Some men are with women because they can't afford the woman that they really want. Some men are with you until they can do better. They're with you because you're with him and he has no job. They're with you because you're not going to expect him to pay for dates. They're with you for any number of reasons, but it doesn't have to be because he loves you. Some of them with you because it's cost effective. See, men do a cost benefit analysis in relationships. They could be with a woman who they have no interest in. They don't like her. They can't stand her, but she's giving him a place to stay and she's letting him drive her car and she's paying for all the bills. He'll be with her until he could do better. But as soon as he could do better than her, she's out of there. This is why the men get so mad about the baddies who won't give them a chance when they don't have anything, because that's who they want. They're mad they can't afford those women, but as soon as they scrape their pennies together, that's exactly who they're going after. The same women who wouldn't even look at them twice if they didn't have the money. Just for them to call her a gold digger. Sir, you only got the gold to get her.
If you want a better dating life by the end of this year, I'm going to need you to do one important thing for me. I'm going to need you to date people that like you. Look, I know the first thing the men and the women are going to say is, I can't date someone who I don't like. So you're telling me right now that you're willing to date somebody who is not going to be intentional for you. You're going to date someone who is going to put you in a position to be an option instead of a priority. You're telling me right now that you wouldn't be willing to choose somebody who is going to come and get you and pursue you. That's what you're telling me. Look, there's a reason why you have horrible dates as it is. There's a reason why you have never gotten flowers or you've never received any type of sentimental gift. Because you're dealing with people who don't care about you. They may only find you attractive, but they don't like you. You need to be with somebody who's going to say, I have dinner reservations at 8 p.m. instead of saying, what you doing? Someone that says, hey, when can I see you? What do you want to do? Instead of being a person that is going to be generous with who they are instead of just leading with their wallet. Date the people that like you. And before you get upset with me and say, I'm not just going to settle for anybody just because they like me, that's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you to choose somebody who actually likes you for you and someone that you can actually like. And stop settling for the people who put you last instead of the people that put you first. The moment you start doing that, dating will become so better for you. I promise you.
Okay, here are 3 signs when a man really likes you. Make sure you hit that follow button if you relate, and make sure you hit that follow button if it helps you out. Number 1 has got to be when his friends leave y'all alone to talk. If you guys are all hanging out and they leave for out of, thin air, trust me, he's been talking to his fellas about you and he really fucks with you. Oh, good for you. If I had a cookie, I would give you one. Number 2 is when he remembers little details about your ass. I feel like men naturally don't listen to women when it comes to shit. But if he is listening to you and the little stuff about you, then I think, yeah, he definitely likes your ass. I'll be the first one to admit that we are not the greatest listeners. Number 3 is if he's willing to help you with your problems. A man that really likes you is going to make sure you know that he is your knight in shining armor, even though he's probably not at all.
A man only goes after what he wants. Listen very carefully. If you have to start out by chasing a man, he don't want you. The ball will be in his court. Okay? If you keep chasing a man, you're going to keep finding out that they don't want you. A man always goes after what he wants. If you just can't believe he doesn't want you, but he's not calling, texting, asking you out on dates, please believe he don't want you.
So here are 3 signs that'll tell you if someone's attracted to you. And when I say attracted, not just meaning physical, it means your ideas as well. So the first one is mirroring. I don't want you to overthink this. It's basically mirroring your body language. And when somebody mirrors your body language, they're unconsciously wanting to be more like you. And the second one would be somebody asking questions. Now, it's not just any old question. These are questions that are digging for more information. You'll be able to tell with their interest by the kinds of questions that they ask, and also the fact that they're just plain old curious about you. And the third one is just an open body posture. You know this when you see it, because you also know when someone's not open to you. So pay attention to those simple signs of where their feet are their arms open? Because when they're doing that, that means they're open for more information and more engagement from you.
What are some of the things that you think a woman needs to feel safe?
That's a good question.
Relationship.
I think consistency. For one, it's a lot of dudes that can be the perfect man one day and then 3-4 days straight he negligent. Mental, a lot of men view protection as a physical thing. I think it's more mental as well. And what I mean by that is, like, as a man, understanding the fact that when I'm outside, I represent you.
Yes.
And vice versa. You see what I'm saying? And perception is everything. so I gotta keep myself out of situations that perception could damage your mental support, which is what I meant by always being on her side. I think that's super important. A lot of men don't realize, like, your woman comes to you for that safety, for that encouragement, for that upliftment, for that approval. If we're gonna be real, a lot of times in her decision making, or whether she getting into it with somebody at the job, or maybe she beefing with her fam, or whatever the case may be, but she need to always know that my man got me. You see what I'm saying? She don't want to be arguing on one end and then come home and be arguing on another.
Right.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube, and that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. So after listening to all of those TikToks, I really thought this would be a great thing to put together and then post on this channel, because this is a situation that I run into very often when I am working with my lovely clients, at least at the beginning stages. And that is, they are entertaining men who aren't putting forth the effort, aren't being consistent, and are showing basically other signs that these women aren't a priority. And in truth, deep down, they don't really like these women. They're using them as a dispensable option. And depending on where a woman is at when she first starts working with me in her own growth and healing, will directly correlate to how deeply she's kind of really digging into entertaining these men that aren't making her a priority, that aren't making her feel special. As we move along in my coaching program, they will come to a point where they have that realization about what they want in a partner, what they will tolerate from someone, and be very comfortable and confident to let that go. But until that point, like I said, depending on where they are when we start working together, they will hang on to situationships and barely, honestly, barely legible communication with men from dating apps or men that they've met, or somebody's trying to hook them up with a person that is truly just not on their level and not going in the same direction as life as these ladies are going. These ladies are striving, they're building businesses, they're upwardly mobile in their careers, they're buying homes, they're going on vacations, girls trips, solo trips, whatever. They're planning, wonderful cruises. They're doing big things with their lives, and they are willing to deal with men that really are showing they don't like them. And many times when a man doesn't like you, he's going to tell you that. The problem is, women have been so socialized to dismiss a lot of things men say. And I feel that's where all of us can get into very sticky situations. If a man says something that he is not going to do for you, he doesn't like you, especially when it's something that you stated that you do like. And he says, well, I just don't do that. Add the for you at the end. He's just never going to do that for you because he doesn't like you. And a woman will just brush that off and continue to deal with this man. That is an immediate sign to cut him off and block him across everything, because there are going to be other options. The root cause of this behavior is desperation and scarcity. In the current environment as it stands, women have been socialized to be fearful that they better accept any male attention that comes their way, because there won't be something better on the other side of it. But here's the truth. It's better to have your peace of mind and maybe not be dating for a while and working on yourself, or just being on pause for a little while, versus entertaining someone who can do irrevocable damage to you mentally, physically, psychologically, financially, etc. Holding on to a piece of a person is not worth it. I actually have a little story to share. So a friend of the family who has been married for probably about 17 years now, to 16, 17 years now, to her husband, he was not someone that anyone liked per se. And I remember the first time I met this guy, I asked her, why are you marrying him? It was at a family function, and, I had met him, and when he had gone on his merry way and was in the back or something, her and I were in the kitchen, and I asked her, I'm like, why are you marrying him? And she couldn't really give me a straight answer. It wasn't, I love him, I think it's great. I really think that she was just in a vulnerable position because a very long-term relationship of hers had ended months before she met this guy. And she dated him for like 2 years before she even introduced him to her friend group, right? And meeting him, I knew they weren't aligned. And he was cheating. He was a deadbeat dad to, he had children with someone. He was just the classic mess, hot mess, classic Pookie and Ray Ray. And at one point, I guess she confronted him about his behavior. This was prior to marriage. And he said, well, I can leave, but plenty of women would be happy to have a piece of man. And she couldn't even respond to that, because here is the truth of the matter. And I thought that was just so insightful. These Pookie and Ray Rays know what they can get away with and know who they can get away with that behavior with. And it all boils down to, they understand that women are socialized with fear mongering and insecurity mindsets to hold on to a man regardless of anything. And that empowers them to lean into that raggedy behavior. And that is why, as soon as a man shows you he doesn't like you, you're not a priority, he is not going to meet you where you're at, there's not mutual reciprocity there, block him. No second chances. We're at the very early stage, because he knows exactly what he's doing. So I say all of that to say and share that little story to say, only date men who like you. If he is showing the slightest inkling, and listen to your intuition as well, if he's showing the slightest inkling that he doesn't like you, trust it. He doesn't like you. Shut it down. Cut him off. He does not need access to you or your energy in any way, shape, or form. So I hope that helps. Thank you for joining me today for this episode of Ish I Saw on TikTok. Ladies, only date men who actually like you. Watch this video again. Just ruminate on the Just My Thoughts segment, as well as what many of the TikToks were saying. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're interested in working with me one-on-one to uncover some of your unhealed areas and parts within yourself that need to be addressed. Check out the links below. Also, check out my podcast, The Successful Invisible. Next season, publishing soon on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Until next time, this is your relationship coach, Janelle, signing off.